What's up, Team Buckhouse? Johnathan Buckhouse here, and today we're gonna do another resort review. If you don't know what this is a series I have on my YouTube channel where we go snowboard a brand new ski resort and then we make a review on it, rating 10 categories, each category getting a score from 0 to 10. 0 is not applicable, they don't have it at all. 1 is terrible, 5 is average, and 10 is best in the world, you gotta go. So then after we rate all the categories, we give the resort a score from 0 to 100. That score then ranks it against other ski resorts, and then I also explain to you guys at the end who I think this ski resort is for. Now I've gone to over 70 ski resorts in my life, and I have a goal to ride every resort in the United States. Right now, if you want to check my progress, you can check out the resort map. It's a map of all the ski resorts in the United States. It's really cool to just check it out. But all the green dots are the resorts I've been to. If you click on them, you can see the videos I filmed at that ski resort, and then you can watch them and then see if I've been to your place. If it's red, I'm coming your way, which is really cool. But also in there, we have the ranking of all the resorts after they've been reviewed and things like that. So we're gonna go ride every resort in the United States, and then we're gonna make a resort review of every single resort, and it's gonna be really sick. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because there could be the sickest, dopest ski resort that's not like Vail or Keystone or anywhere like these mega resorts. It could be the little small one in your backyard, or maybe a trip to North Carolina to Beach Mountain, which is the one we reviewed last week, which you can watch right here. Might be a better trip than coming out to spend a ton of money going to Breckenridge. That's the whole point of this series. What resorts are for you guys? What's gonna be best for your family? What's gonna be an easy trip for you? Or if you like riding park, well, who has a sick terrain park? Now, Lee Canyon is not on an Epic or Icon pass. It's kind of a standalone, but if you do need help making the decision whether to buy Icon or Epic, I did make a video breaking down those passes and which one I think you should go with. So check that video out right there if you're struggling to find out which season pass you wanna purchase. But enough rambling, enough talking. Let's jump into the resort review. The first category are the lift prices. How affordable is it to come to this ski resort? And I think it's actually very affordable, with lift prices coming in at $79 for the day and a season pass at $419. That's actually an incredible price for a resort like this. So I gave it a 7 when it came to lift prices. Anything under $100 to go ride for the day is pretty sick. I live in Colorado where it's $200 for the day to go skiing and snowboarding, so that's a pretty awesome price. Ease of access. How easy is it to get to this ski resort? And honestly, even if you don't live in Nevada, it's actually a super easy resort to get to, because it's only 52 minutes away from the Vegas Strip. So if you want to go to Vegas and then go skiing, less than an hour drive, you'll be at a ski resort riding, which is absolutely insane. Now, it was kind of like a little bit of a mounty driving, it wasn't bad, it was one lane. So on the weekend, I could see some big traffic issues, but other than that, it was super easy to get there. So I gave it a 6 on the ease of access, less than an hour drive, you can't beat that. Now, lodging. Sadly, this place comes in with a big 0 on the lodging. There isn't lodging available. There are places around. We stayed at this pretty nice hotel that was 30 minutes away. But once again, you could stay in Vegas and then drive up if that's something you wanted to do. But they don't offer lodging, so they get a 0. Not applicable, it's not there. Now the chairlifts. What's the point of a resort if we can't get to where we want to get? And actually, they get dinged decently hard on this. They only have 3 chairlifts, and sadly, it doesn't access all their terrain. They have these super sick, awesome double blacks that I really wanted to go ride, but you had to, it's all hike to terrain. There's no lifts that took you higher in the mountain. I was riding there being like, man, I wish I could go higher, but the lifts didn't go as high. So they got a 4 when it comes to the lifts. If you're not trying to ride super gnarly double blacks, then you're very fine with what was available. But because I couldn't get to the stuff that I wanted to ride, they got dinged. They're below average on a 4. However, they did have a nice bunny hill chairlift. So if you're a beginner, you do have your own chairlift that you can lap, which is super nice. Now, runs. I actually found some cool stats on this resort that I think I'm gonna start implementing on the other resort reviews that I started doing. So the vertical feet of the resort is 11,000 vertical feet, which is pretty awesome. That's a pretty high ski resort for Nevada, Vegas area, the Vegas ski resort. I was like, what? There's a mountain that tall there? That's insane. They have 195 skiable acres. 20% of the resort is green terrain. 20% of the resort is black terrain. And then 60% of the ski resort is blue terrain, if that helps you with the runs and everything like that. But the runs we did do were pretty fun. I wasn't bored on the runs. There were some cool side hits. The day I showed up, it was very firm and the snow never really softened up because it was like almost late season, but still kind of winter, everything like that. So the snow wasn't the greatest. And that's a big reason I don't cover snow quality, because the runs were sick, but I showed up on a bad snow day and I could have showed up on a better snow day, and like it's so hard to review snow conditions, so we don't do that. But as for runs, I thought they were fun. I thought they had enough for beginners, enough if you really wanted to hike and do double blacks, you could do it. The blue runs were fine. So there wasn't a ton of variety, but you could jump in the trees and ski. They had tree skiing. So everything you would want to do, they had available. So I gave them a 5, an average for the ski runs. Now the terrain park, this is what blew me away. I was like, okay, they'll have a park, it'll be fun, but I was not ready for how sick their terrain park would be. And the thing that like was the best part of the whole park was they had a 2 jump line at the end, and the jumps were built super well. The speed was totally there. Like the jumps made the day. If the snow was a little softer, we would have went a little hardcore on them, but also I was injured. I think I hit my back the day prior to riding there, so I rode the whole park with a back injury, but still everything was super fun. Everything was well built. The rails slid really well. Nothing was sticky. Another thing I thought was super sick with the terrain park is they actually had a beginner section with like smaller boxes, like big dance boxes, how to like warm you up into the terrain park, which a lot of ski resorts aren't doing that anymore. So I thought that was really sick too. So I gave them a 6 on the park. I thought the park was incredible. If you are in Nevada or near Lee's Canyon, you could get so good at ripping the terrain park. So I think that park is sick. Now we're at the mountain. We're gonna wanna eat some food, and what I saw was a pretty average ski resort food options. I think they have a brewery and just a little lodge thing. Typical resort food like burgers, chicken tenders, things like that. They got a big beer selection. So I just gave them an average score on the food. I ended up not eating there for that day. I don't eat at every ski resort I go to, but I do make sure I go check out the food options to see what it is. And yeah, it was just like what you would find at any normal ski resort. So I gave them a 5 when it came to food. Now employees, this is the category where people think we should cover snow conditions, but once again, hit or miss depending on the time of the season, things like that. So we don't cover snow conditions because you can have the sickest POW week ever, or you can have like a really icy, not super sick time. So like we don't cover snow conditions. But the employees is important because I truly believe an employee can make or break your trip. You can have an awesome employee that went out of the way and like crushed it for you, or you can have a really bad employee who's gonna pull your pass and ruin your whole trip like I had at Keystone Ski Resort. If you wanna see that video, check it out right here. That was just a messy situation, and you can see how an employee can literally ruin your trip. But thankfully at Lee's Canyon, I just ran into average people. Like no one was above and beyond, but no one was terrible. So I gave them a 5 on the employees. So good job, Lee's Canyon. Now views and scenery. This is another one that I was like, oh my goodness, this is blowing my mind. And I'm sure if we could get to the very top of the mountain, the views would be even better. But I'm basing it off of when you go ride there, what you're gonna see. And you're truly in a canyon surrounded by huge mountains and rocks, and it's gnarly. I was like, dude, the view here is incredible. And so I gave them a 7 on the view. I was truly and genuinely surprised at how sick the views were at this ski resort. So good job, Lee's Canyon. And the last score, the would I go back factor. Like, would I go back to this ski resort? It knocked it out of the park. This is the first ever 10 on the would I go back. I would absolutely go back to Lee Canyon, mainly because I was hurt and I really want to like rip their park, but also it's super close to Vegas. So if I ever do a Vegas trip for some reason, I'm like, yo, I want to go ski and snowboard, I'm gonna do it. They were open from December like 11th to April 25th last season, which is pretty incredible. But that's not the only thing pulling me. And I don't know if it's because it's so close to Vegas, but the vibe and energy at that ski resort was incredible. They had a tetherball, what do you call that course? A pole hanging up in the park, and we got to play tetherball. Just everybody was in a good mood. Like literally there wasn't a sour puss face in the entire line, and we were waiting in a pretty long line to ride one of their only 3 chairlifts there. But no, like the vibe and energy was incredible. The people were all super friendly. I ran into a ton of you guys, which was super sick. And overall, I have a a genuine pull of like, dude, I want to go back there. That place was fun. And so that's why I gave it a 10, because out of all the ski resorts I rode this season, this was one of my favorites. So now we're gonna take all the scores, we're gonna count them all up, put them all together, and Lee's Canyon comes in at a whopping score 55, which is above average, which is so sick. So good job, Lee Canyon, coming in above average for a ski resort. I thought this is an incredible place, and who I think this ski resort is honestly for anyone, especially like, I mean, let's be real, a lot of adults want to go to Vegas. Well, if you're going to Vegas in the wintertime, I highly recommend making this a part of your trip. I think it would really like increase your time at Vegas. You can go gamble a bit and then you can go ride. But who like the actual riding and skiing and stuff is for is, I think it's for families. It's a small ski resort. You can all stick together, everything like that. A lot of blue terrain for you guys to ride around if you're kind of like in that a little intermediate level. Park riders, if you want to ride a sick terrain park, this is a spot for you. And then if you're super duper gnarly and you don't mind hiking and getting and working for your gnarly riding, this is a resort for you. Now I have heard a rumor that they're going to put a chairlift in that's going to go a lot higher on the mountain, which will access a lot of that like double black terrain that they have, which would be really sick if they did do that. And it's another reason why I want to go back. But now this is the point where we need the locals' help. Comment down below, where's the best food, where's the best place to stay, all that stuff. If this is your main resort, this is what you ride, give us those insider tips down below in the comments so we can have this conversation, really find out if people should come rip this ski resort. We need your help. So guys, thank you so much for your input on the resort, and also let me know how I did on the review. I'm making these reviews, I want them to be as accurate as possible. I'm not going to get everything perfect, but I do my best, and I've gone to a lot of ski resorts. With that being said, it's expensive to go to ski resorts, so if you want to snag any of like the Evolution hats, any of the shirts, the Evolution stickers, these are like the best way to support the channel. And for all the skiers out there, we do have a ski version of the logo. That's also linked in the description. But snagging any of the merch, guys, it allows me to afford to travel to make all these and do this for a living. So if you do want to support on that next level, snag some merch, check out my Patreon, my memberships, all of that, guys. That's all linked in the description. And thank you to everyone that does support the channel, allowing me to go make these videos for you. This is like one of my most favorite things I do with this YouTube channel is travel and snowboard. And that's why I have the goal to ride every resort in the United States, which is 466. That number, like the 400 was like 67 last time I filmed it. That fluctuates because we find some resorts that have closed down or some new resorts that just showed up, but like over 460 ski resorts in the United States. We gotta do 40 new resorts a season to be able to do it within 10 years. And we're gonna do that, guys. We're gonna do like 50, 60 resorts in a season, I hope, one day. It's gonna be dope. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, once again, subscribe to the channel. And as always, Team Buckhouse, thank you so much for reviewing a ski resort with me today. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep evolving. We'll see you guys tomorrow with another video.
I'm on top of the ocean, living like life ain't frozen, feeling my feet been chosen for something other than motion, yeah. Mama told me I'ma be somebody. I ain't never gonna need nobody, no, no. I ain't never gonna need nobody, no cliffhanger, yeah.